In a year, we probably spend $300,000, sometimes more, just on clothing.
Before the money, cars, designer clothes, fame, houses, there was just Todd, a young man born and raised in the South that only had dreams of being successful and wealthy. I'm sure he never imagined his dreams would one day steal a decade of his freedom. But before we divulge into those details, let's find out who Todd was before his present image. According to multiple reports, Todd did not always have the best luck when it came to keeping close friends, which is why he decided to turn down college and pursue real estate at a very young age. Although Todd as a young adult was very charming and charismatic, he also did not have the best of luck when it came down to his love life. Todd married his high school sweetheart, Teresa Terry, after finding out she was pregnant in 1989 with their first daughter, Lindsay. 2 years after that, she found out she was pregnant with her second, Kyle. Things weren't always rainbows and sunshine for the young couple, and according to Teresa, his ex-wife, Todd became controlling, vindictive, and abusive. As a result, Teresa left Todd's house shortly after filing a domestic violence case against Todd in 1994. Teresa left with only the son, which resulted in her filing a criminal complaint of an unlawful abduction when Todd refused to let her take Lindsay. For several years, they were on and off with their marriage, and finally, Teresa got tired of the back and forth and finally left. The courts did grant joint custody. In 1996, Todd realized his horrific love life finally came to an end when he met his present wife, Julie. Todd and Julie were inseparable, according to close friends, and Todd wanted to make sure Julie had everything, literally. So what did Todd do to make it happen? Yep, you're right. Strive to be as powerful and successful as he could by opening a Chrisley Asset Management Company, which is a real estate investment firm that launched in 2002. Todd and Julie ended up having their first son together, Chase, in 1996, their second, Savannah, in 1997, and their third, Grayson, in 2006. Unfortunately, in 2008, Todd's business closed during the housing crisis, but that did not stop Todd's hustle to support the lifestyle that he's always dreamed of. In 2014, Todd and his entire family agreed to launch their own reality TV show, Chrisley Knows Best, that premiered on the USA Network. And let's just say, real estate was no longer the primary moneymaker. Through the seasons, they became America's favorite family because of their sassy ways and hilarious family dynamics, especially that mom of Todd's, Mama Faye. Many fans questioned Todd's sexuality because of his super metro habits, but Todd said that he embraced the longtime false rumor that he is gay, stating that he's flattered that people think that he can get laid on both ends.
Where did it up?
Right there, you gotta hold it.
I'm literally burning up with sweat.
The show Chrisley Knows Best lasted for 9 seasons. Todd and his daughter Lindsay ended up having a falling out, which left a lot of fans confused about what actually happened. However, they each addressed the situation and they have now since made up. Todd's son Cal has had his run-ins with the law, which resulted in Todd and Julie receiving full custody of their granddaughter, Chloe. Chloe's mom also was not able to take on the responsibility and was more than willing to let Todd and Julie step in.
After a jury rendered a unanimous guilty verdict against reality TV stars Todd and Julie Chrisley, federal prosecutors filed new documents Monday.
In August of 2019, the Chrisleys' lives changed. The couple was indicted by a Georgia grand jury on charges of conspiracy to commit bank fraud, wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to defraud the U.S., and tax evasion. So, how did all of this start? A former employee of Todd and Julie's is one of the reasons why the feds started an investigation. Mark Braddock said that he met Todd at a school function for their kids back in the early 2000s and became friends 2 years later when they lived in the same neighborhood. Mark said that he altered documents to help the Chrisleys get loans. Mark also claimed in court that he and Todd had a personal relationship of an intimate nature. He said that he would do whatever he needed to get done. The intimate relationship lasted 1 year, according to Mark, and it proceeded to a business relationship. He said that he worked for the Chrisleys' asset management company, and he managed and sold foreclosed homes. So the Chrisleys fired Mark in 2012. After his firing, he went to the FBI and told them that the Chrisleys committed financial crimes as well as himself, and he did it on their behalf. On May 16, 2021, federal trial began for Todd and Julie Chrisley. The defense for the Chrisleys said that emails submitted to Tarantino, who was their accountant, showing that Todd was making attempts to pay their taxes. The defense also says that prosecutors misled the jurors. The Chrisleys never testified on their own behalf. They also claimed that the IRS lied to the jurors about not paying their taxes. The Chrisleys' lawyer, Peter Tarantino, is also guilty of conspiracy to defraud the U.S. and filing false tax returns. He also will serve 3 years in prison. The prosecutors say that the Chrisleys intentionally swindled smaller banks to rack up $30 million between 2007 and 2012, 2 years before the reality show started in 2014. They also were accused of launching a shell company named Seven Seas Productions to put in Julie's name to prevent the IRS from seizing money owed. On June 7, 2022, the Chrisleys were found guilty on all charges. Also, on November 21st, the sentencing started for Todd and Julie. Todd was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Julie was sentenced to 7 years. On January 15th, the couple is ordered to surrender themselves to start their prison sentences. The Chrisleys will have to sell their assets to pay back their restitution. Todd will be doing an interview on his podcast, Chrisley Confessions, next week before he's ordered to turn himself in, and he says nothing is off limits. It will be set up as a Q&A interview with his son, Grayson, asking the questions. Todd's son, Chase, recently got engaged to longtime girlfriend of 3 years, Emmy Metters. There has not been a wedding date yet set, but the absence of both Todd and Julie will be a stab in the heart for Chase. Savannah will also have custody of her little brother Grayson and her niece Chloe. Savannah has also a podcast that she will continue to give updates with Todd and Julie's statuses during prison. On January 15th, when both Todd and Chloe are ordered to surrender and start their sentence, legal experts say the likelihood of both of them getting out sooner than their sentence time frame is slim to none. Todd and Julie plan to proceed with an appeal and are asking for a new trial. Todd and Julie stated on their podcast that they are hopeful and they're keeping their faith and they live every day like it's their last. So my question now is, does Chrisley really know best? Fame and fortune will never be more important than freedom. Thank you guys for listening and watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.